Welcome to today's Explainer. I am so excited you're here because we are looking at something truly incredible today. We're going to dive into a story about a 3-year-old boy, a super ordinary looking little object, and the massive, delicious surprise it turns into. That's right, we are exploring the magic of a mango seed. So get comfortable, put on your explorer hats, and let's jump right in. So I got to ask you a big question right up front. Do you believe in magic? Now, I know what you're probably thinking. You might be picturing a magician with a tall black hat pulling a fluffy white rabbit out of it, or, someone waving a sparkly wand. But the magic we're talking about today, it doesn't need a wand, it doesn't need a secret spell. It actually happens right beneath our feet, down in the dirt every single day. Let me introduce you to a little boy named Ranu, who discovered exactly what I mean. Chapter 1, The Magic Seed. Our story starts when Ranu was just 3 years old. Try to imagine you're 3 again. Basically, everything seems huge and full of wonder, right? Well, one day, Ranu's Amma gave him a big, sweet mango to eat. Have you ever eaten a mango? They are so bright and delicious. Ranu absolutely loved it. He ate the whole thing until literally all that was left was that big, hard pit in the middle, the seed. Since he was done with his snack, he just carelessly threw the seed away. But then, something unusual happened. Instead of just tossing it, Ranu heard a tiny little voice. He looked all around. Was it coming from the seed? Just picture 3-year-old Ranu in his little red shirt out in the garden with his wise grandfather. They've got a trowel, a watering can, maybe a colorful bird watching them from the bushes. Ranu isn't throwing the seed away anymore. No way. He's actually getting ready to put it right into the ground. And why? Well, it's all because of what that tiny voice told him. Imagine a tiny, squeaky little voice calling out from the grass, whispering, "Ranu, don't throw me away. Hide me under the soft earth. You will see magic." Now let's be real. If a talking seed promised you magic, you'd probably listen, right? I know I would. Ranu certainly did. And he had to follow some very specific steps to unlock this magic. Let's break down exactly how this magical recipe works. Step 1, dig a hole. You just need to make an empty space in the ground. Step 2, plop that seed right in. Step 3, put soil over it. It's kind of like tucking it into bed with a cozy brown blanket. And step 4, water it every day. Grandfather told Ronu specifically, water it every day. Then you will see the magic. It's a total team effort between you, the seed, and the water. Real quick, let's talk about that word, soil. Soil simply means earth. It's the dirt, the ground, the natural brown stuff we walk on out in the garden. That's the seed's cozy new home. Chapter 2, Growing the Baby Plant. So Ronu watered his little patch of soil every single day. After days of watering and waiting, suddenly, pop! A tiny green shoot poked its way out of the dark dirt and reached right up into the sunlight. It worked. The seed was actually doing something. It became a baby plant. And a baby plant is exactly what it sounds like. A small, tiny plant. But to 3-year-old Ronu, man, this tiny, fragile little green stem was the most amazing thing ever. He ran to his grandfather and shouted, "Look at the baby plant, grandfather! Is this the magic of the mango seed?" He really thought the magic trick was totally finished right then and there. But grandfather just smiled, and he hit Ranu with his absolute favorite catchphrase. He said, "Wait and see, there is more magic." You see, grandfather knew a little secret about nature. Nature doesn't do its best magic tricks in just a few days. No, nature takes its sweet time. And wow, watch how time flies. It all starts with Ronu at age 3 when he first planted the seed. Then, whoosh, years pass. The little plant began to grow and grow and grow. We fast forward to Ronu at age 9. That is 6 whole years of waiting. Ronu went from being a tiny toddler to a big 9-year-old boy. And that tiny little baby plant? Yeah, it definitely wasn't small anymore. It became huge. And when we say huge, we mean very, very big. Ranu looked up at it and said, "A small seed has become a huge tree." That is the magic. And honestly, who could blame him? Turning a little pit into a giant tree with thick branches and big green leaves, that seems like the greatest magic trick in the world. But guess what? Chapter 3, The Blooming Tree. Turns out, the tree had another trick up its sleeve. It was a lovely day in the month of March. The weather was warming up, the birds were singing, and Ronu woke up early. He walked over, looked out his window, and his jaw practically dropped to the floor. Now he's 9 years old, standing out there with his grandfather, staring up at the branches. It's not just green anymore. The massive mango tree is completely full of small, bright yellow flowers. There are little birds resting happily up in the branches. Ronu points up at it and excitedly tells his grandfather, "Oh, look at the flowers! This is the magic!" It certainly was a magical sight. The flowers made the tree look incredibly lovely, which is just another fun word for pretty. Those thousands of little yellow flowers made the huge tree look absolutely lovely. But if you've been paying attention to Grandfather, I bet you can guess what he said next. Once again, the wise grandfather playfully tells him, "Wait a little more. There will be more magic." Can you even believe it? First the baby plant, then the huge tree, then the lovely flowers, and there is still more to come. What could possibly be better than a giant tree covered in beautiful flowers? Chapter 4. The Sweet Mangoes. Let's find out. Those little yellow flowers eventually started to fall off the tree, and in their place, tiny green mangoes appeared on the branches. Slowly, day by day, those green mangoes absorbed the sunlight and the water from the soil. They grew big, and they turned a beautiful, bright yellow. Grandfather told Ranu to call his friends over, and what a perfect day it was. Just picture them all sitting together, super happy, right under the shade of the very tree Ranu planted 6 years ago. They have a whole basket full of big yellow mangoes, and they are munching away. This is exactly what the magic was leading to all along. Grandfather told him to call his friends because the mangoes were finally ripe. And when a fruit is ripe, it simply means it is perfectly ready to eat. The tree had finished its long, hard work, and the fruit was absolutely perfect. And how do you think they tasted? They were so sweet and juicy. Juicy means they were full of that delicious, natural sugar water that makes a perfectly ripe mango taste like the absolute best treat in the world. Grandfather finally looked at Ronu and said, "This is the magic of a seed." Chapter 5. Nature's Magic Words. So, what can we really take away from Ranu's 6-year adventure? Well, you see, the magic wasn't a trick, and it definitely wasn't an illusion. It was biology. It was the incredible, real-world cycle of a tiny, hard seed transforming soil, water, and sunlight into delicious food. Nature performs this exact kind of magic every single day, right all around us. Value pick, patience and wonder in nature's cycle. This whole story shows us something super important: patience. Ronu had to be patient and wait from the time he was 3 until he was 9 years old just to eat a mango from his tree. It takes a long time for big, wonderful things to grow from small beginnings. But if you have patience and you take care of things, the reward, like a massive basket full of juicy mangoes, is absolutely wonderful. Which leaves me with one final question for you today. What kind of magic seed would you plant? Would you plant a mango tree like Rono? Or maybe an apple tree? How about a bright yellow sunflower? Whatever it is, I highly encourage you to grab an adult, get outside, get your hands in the soil, and start your very own magical nature adventure. Thank you so much for joining me on today's Explainer. Stay curious out there, and I'll catch you next time.